It's estimated that 400 million ounces of silver have been removed from the vaults of the COMEX, the LBMA, and the silver ETFs in the last 3 years alone. That's not even accounting for the massive silver deficit that we have this year, 2024. Today is August 15th, 2024. The silver price is up almost 3%, $28.50 in the spot market. I have a question for you. Where do you think 2 years from today, August 15th, 2026, the silver price will be? In this video, we're going to talk about some big picture critical components that will drive the price of silver over the next 2 years. Will the silver price be $50 in 2026? Or could we even see triple-digit silver? Let's explore what's going on and why we can be wildly optimistic about the future of the silver price. Houston, we have a problem. We are consuming way more silver on an annual basis than's being produced by the mining sector. Take a look at this. If you consider that yellow sand at the top to be the above ground silver in the world, there's only so much of that. And remember, that pile is shrinking, not growing, because every year over the last 3 to 4 years, the world has needed to tap into the surplus above ground silver. We sometimes call it the silver slush fund, the silver surplus fund. But you may notice that amount of yellow sand at the top is shrinking, and eventually it will get to critical levels, which could result in critical price increases for silver. And we can't emphasize that enough, because eventually we'll get to this point. See how there's hardly any silver left? And when it gets to this point, people will really wake up to the idea that there's a limited amount of silver in this world. And the only thing that'll fix that will be price. Before we talk about that, I want to say thank you for joining me here in the basement. You are the most important part of Ron's Basement. Please leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. It's free. And if you have already subscribed, or if you are subscribing, make sure you press the bell so you get notified every time we go live, which is usually every single day, or put out a new video. We want you to come back. We want you to realize you're always welcome here, and we want you to be part of this community. Well, price fixes everything, but with silver, does it? Because we need to recognize a couple critical points when it comes to silver production. Number one, the amount of silver being produced on an annual basis right now, 2024, is going down. On top of that, the amount of money being spent on exploring for new silver has gone down over the last number of decades. With these artificially suppressed prices in silver, it's not become economically attractive for companies to go out exploring for silver. You can count on these two hands the number of companies that are out there actively drilling, spending money on trying to find new silver. So when the price does shoot up, there's not going to be a huge supply of development stage projects or big discoveries that have been made over a number of years. It's going to take decades for the silver supply to catch up with. Remember what we talked about earlier, the world is running out of silver. You're smart. You got a good head on your shoulders. You need to make your mind up for yourself if this all makes sense or not. But if it does make sense and you decide to responsibly stack some silver, I want to encourage you to please check out our channel sponsor, Pimbex, Pimbex. Pimbex.com is where you can find a great selection of silver, gold, and platinum group metals. You can find great customer service, a company with a great reputation. I encourage you to research that for yourself, but most importantly, the best prices around so that you can get more metal for your money. They can also help out with IRA conversions, and I would highly recommend that you throw them into the mix, whether you're buying bullion to stack personally, or if you want to use it through your IRA. Do yourself a favor and check out Pembex. I think Pembex is best, and you will too. You're going to have a fun 10 years as a silver stacker as the price of silver tries to catch up with demand, because that's how long it's going to take for the mining sector to catch up. Don't forget, further complicating matters for the silver market is this absolute fact that the demand for silver is going through the roof. Electronics, solar panels, electric cars, water purification. We could talk for the next hour about all the expanding demand sources for silver. All of this happening while we have a decrease in supply coming from the mining sector. Have you looked at the gold to silver ratio lately? What about considering China and India? First, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold, Canadian gold developer with 2 multi-million ounce projects in Canada. Also, Fortuna Mining, a gold and silver mining company with major operations in Latin America and West Africa. You can learn more about both of these companies. They sponsor Ron's Basement. I'm not giving investment advice, but I have links to their websites in the description of this video. Let's talk about the historic highs that we have right now in the gold to silver ratio, because everything we've talked about when it comes to silver, right, points us in the direction that there are bright days ahead for the silver price. But then when we consider the fact that the gold to silver ratio right now is sitting at all-time highs, that means it takes more ounces of silver to convert to 1 ounce of gold than darn near any other time in history. You're talking about needing to convert 90 or so ounces of silver if you want to get 1 ounce of gold. Remember, when it comes to the mining ratio, it's conservative, very conservative, to say that there's only 10 ounces of silver that are dug up out of the ground each year for each 1 ounce of gold. And we have a cherry on top when it comes to the outlook for silver, something that truly is different this time. We know that silver went to $50 per ounce in 1980. But what is significantly different right now as compared to then is the fact that now we have unbelievable demand for silver coming from the East. We all know about the BRICS countries and what they're doing with precious metals, in particular gold. But guys, China and India are new kids on the block here in 2024 as compared to 1980, the last time we had an all-time high in the silver price. Look, China and India are devouring the world's silver resources. This is a new factor which really throws a wrench into a lot of the long-standing models that people have used to talk about pricing of silver. We talked about a lot of big factors, right? Mine supply, demand factors. There's a lot going on that makes prospects for silver very, very attractive. But when you consider what's going on right now with China and India, each with populations of 1.4 billion people, each with massively expanding economies, what do you think we're going to see in 2024? I'm real confident that if we come back and revisit this video on August 15th, 2024, and I want to see you back here, my fellow basement dwellers, that we're going to have a big, big smile on our faces when we're looking at the price of silver, the real value of silver. One thing for sure, it's not going to be a straight ride up. There'll be bumps in the road, but we'll be here together supporting each other through it all. I appreciate you joining me today here in the basement. Don't forget, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.